What is final URL expansion? I think this is probably the coolest part of Performance Max. This is the thing that just really blows my mind. I mean, the fact that Google writes ads for us, they've been doing that, so that's no big deal. Dynamic prospecting was in Smart Shopping, so and I shouldn't say it's no big deal. It's like a modern miracle, but we've seen it. Final URL expansion, though, and I realized that there was something kind of like it with DSA, and so it's like taking DSA inside of Pmax, but this just feels more dynamic. So I want to explain what it is and then how to use it. When you have final URL expansion enabled, Google is going to choose what page to send users to. Now, here's what's interesting. Google's documentation says that based on the user's search query, which would make you assume that Google's only using this for search, which I think is interesting because I think this is just as applicable for display-based or GSP or whatever. And I would be really interesting to see if that's true. The problem is we can't tell because Google's not telling us, where people are going at what point. We don't get to see the funnel. We might at some point, hopefully, but right now we don't. So if anybody has any insight on this, I'd love to know. Is this search-based only, or is this going to be applicable across all the other channels? And then, of course, it's using user intent. It customizes the ad headline to match whatever page you're sending folks to, which we're used to. Here they are again. Reach more customers matching your business through new relevant queries that may not serve through your regular campaigns. Increase ad performance through more relevant ads with dynamic headlines. Great. You can exclude facets, exclusion rules. Fine, cool. So how does it work, Kasim? If you're in a Performance Max campaign, when you're building it, Google asks if you want to enable final URL expansion. In the settings of any Performance Max campaign, you can come in and decide to use final URL expansion. And so you would just go to the Pmax campaign, go to settings, scroll down to campaign settings, and then under final URL expansion, you're going to say send traffic to the most relevant URLs on your site. Or you can choose a specific URL, which I do not recommend because it's limiting. Or do it, there's use cases where it works, but make sure you know why you're doing it. What's cool about it is it allows you exclusion rules. So you might say like, hey, my blog goes off the rails. There's a bunch of stuff that's not even applicable. Don't use anything that is in my blog or in this product category. And so you can put some guardrails up. But what I like about this little graphic here is it shows based off of what Google thinks is going to perform, whether or not, you can actually see they've got about page, products page, contact page. Final URL expansion helps you find new converting searches. It uses landing pages on your website to identify relevant search activity and show ads with automatically customized headlines for better performance. So the way that this is being explained makes it seem like Google's cataloging all the pages, distilling the information on those pages to build what amounts to just a search term list, and then when those search terms pop, sending people to those relevant pages. That's counter to the way that it's presented, because the way that it's presented is, build these audience insights, and then we'll send people to the relevant page based off of everything that you've provided it. So they're not starting with the audience and finding the page. They're starting with the page and finding the audience. At least that's the way that it seems. And that's hyper relevant because it means that to identify the right audience, you're going to start with your page when you're using final URL expansion. As a matter of fact, the way to think about it is your website pages are a new audience. So when you're building out your asset groups, if you have final URL expansion on, then you are potentially adding asset groups with every page that you allow Google access to. Is the way that I'm thinking about it now. And I'd really love to be challenged on this, by the way, because I don't know this for a fact. Like, I'm intuiting this based off of Google's documentation of the way that it's currently working. So if somebody out there wants to call BS, that'd be great. I think it'd be fun to have this conversation. But the way that I understand it, the way that it's being presented is Google's starting with the page, pulling what's relevant, and then using that to identify the audience and connect them back to that page, which is great, but it's different than the way that it's currently being presented, which is Google's taking an audience that you provided and then trying to match that audience to a page. And hopefully the importance of that is self-apparent, apparent, right? Self-evident. I did it. Anyway, I'm rambling now, but it's crazy that a machine's going to pick where traffic goes and probably beat us. And definitely beat us, actually. So if you're using final URL expansion in a nifty way, I'd love to hear about it. Otherwise, I'll see y'all mañana. Wait, before you go, I'm constantly looking for amazing people to come join our team. So if you're passionate about Google Ads and you're passionate about customer success, please go to solate.com/apply, and we'd love to see you as a part of the Solutions 8 team. Also, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that we actually know what we're doing. And don't forget to subscribe. We shoot a video every single day, and I don't want you to miss out on any of it. Lastly, if you have questions, comments, concerns, confessions, or you just hate my face and my voice, go ahead and hit us up in the comments. We get very little human interaction, and even the heckling is something that I kind of get a kick out of. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being subscribers if you're a subscriber. Don't forget to apply if you're interested in working at Solutions 8. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.